Strategy and Finance, Central Plains Water.
You have missed the minutes on item 21.
We've done that.
Have we? No.
Yep.
Okay.
Central Plains Water Trust draft statement of intent, and a good discussion about that at Strategy and Finance. So, would you like to move it, Pauline?
Yep.
Since you're being our representative
Being
of
the other delegate to Central Plains now.
Seconded by David. Okay, Pauline.
And we had a good discussion about that. David and I went out to Selwyn last week to have the joint committee meeting, and we asked settlers of the trust. They seem to be very keen to have us as part of it. And addressing those issues that the Strategy and Finance brought out was the fact that up till now, with stage 1 being in the process of being completed, there has been no financial performance indicators to monitor, but they're expecting that that'll be the case from now on. They're moving into stage 2 and stage 1 becomes operable. So they've taken the suggestions on board, and they're having another meeting fairly soon to address those. So that's sort of where it's at the moment. Anything to add, Dave?
No, I think probably one of the pertinent comments is really that we're in catch-up mode, and we should have probably been participating in this for a wee while. There are one or two things that we need to be better informed on, but at this stage I think Ian will probably confirm there's no alarming issues that we need to address. The statement of intent, we have raised the points that were addressed by the Strategy and Finance Committee, and particularly no financial performance measures have been included. Pauline talked about that a moment ago. The ratio of consolidated trust funds, they're addressing that, and I think the other thing that was brought up, that the draft SOI was only for a year where it should be for 3. So these things are all being addressed at the moment, and yeah, I think Pauline will agree we're on the right track going forward.
Yeah, I mean, the last meeting that the committee had, was in August 2013, so it shows you that there was very, very little eyeballing of this, but going forward, I think there's a memorandum of understanding, which will be at the next Water Trust meeting between the company and the trust. So, and they're going to review the MOU between the City Council and the Selwyn District Council also. And also I think we're going to, once the income is beginning to be generated, we'll be focusing as council reps on the environmental conditions in the statement of intent. Pardon?
Given how long that income will take to come, ahead of that, focusing on the environmental issues would be really good.
Yep.
Can I just be really, really clear on this, Ian? That there is no possibility of any financial liability falling on this council from us remaining here on this steering committee.
We've already made the decision.
No, I just want to hear it again.
Yeah, but to answer the question, I think I did some work on this a couple of years ago and came to that conclusion that there was no liability on us.
We're absolutely sure of that.
As sure as anyone can be. No, there's no trail back to us. We are a settlor of the trust, but we've got no financial obligation at all.
Nor any financial input.
We're not paying anything either.
Don't put anything into it.
We made the decision to remain in. I wasn't here at the time that decision was made, and I was surprised at the decision. But the report back that we've had from both Pauline and from David is that we are welcomed by Selwyn as now playing a role as settlors of this trust. So that's what we're debating today, is receiving the draft statement of intent, which is based on a trust that is pre-existing, so we can't change the terms of the trust with this resolution, but we are recommending that the Joint Standing Committee strengthen the monitoring of environmental effects and consideration for increasing the environmental levy be included in the statement of intent. So that's the direction that we're giving to our representatives.
And
Yanni.
So I just want to I mean, my understanding is the trust holds the consent which is used as security for the loans.
Yes.
So that's the value. So
Yep.
if the trust lost the consent, I don't know what that would mean in terms of our liability.
Look, I couldn't answer that.
Okay.
There'd be a lot of implications around that.
Well, maybe we could get some information back on
I'm
that.
happy to provide some advice on that.
Just in terms of the councillors that went to the committee, was there any discussion? I was concerned at the committee that we didn't have the financial information, but was there any discussion around increasing the levy? Because when you look at 3.11, I mean, you know, they've put out $42,000 out of the millions and millions and millions that have been given to that scheme. So did you have a discussion at that committee about raising the levy to get?
No.
Yes, there was a
Yes.
discussion about whether it was tied to a particular sum or whether there was the ability to increase it. And there is information going to come back to the committee on that.
It was one of the questions we asked.
Yeah.
It was a fairly informal meeting, as I say, after no meetings since 2013. It was a bit like fairly informal, and we raised the points that the Strategy and Finance had raised, and that information will come back to
Yes.
the next meeting, and the levy was one of those.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Okay, can I just say that it was actually a good meeting? I had the feeling that Selwyn hadn't been doing too much in the committee space, so it was. I think they were quite pleased to get some momentum going again too.
Yeah, no, I think it's worked out. I think the letter from the mayor was kind of a trigger for us considering it, and I guess that he and I both had an expectation that would be that we would pull out, but the decision of council was to remain in, and I think everyone's accepted that that's a good outcome, and
Yep.
we'll continue to contribute.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so I will put that motion. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. That's carried. And that's not bad because we've now got to 10:30.